Welcome to the Big and Small Podcast, coming to you from Plymouth, Massachusetts. Just a couple of guys drinking some beers, having some chow, and talking all things sports.
All right, boys. Big and small episode. I think we're like what? This could be like 86 or something.
86, yes.
86. But with the other stuff that we're doing, the Not Patriots podcast. I mean, we got to be up around. We got to be in the mid 90s. So we're approaching the century mark with video, which is great. Think about that. That what was it? It was a little over 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
A little over 2 years ago we started.
Yeah.
And nobody's when they start something like that keeps going. So I think hats off to us for being consistent and sticking with it. I think we got a pretty good product here. We're still trying to figure out how to get to massive numbers, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We keep at it like we're doing. It'll happen. It'll happen. So get them up, boys. Ricky.
Thank you to our millions of viewers.
Yeah, we got to do that for real. So, Dougie, kick us off, brother. What we got?
We're going to start off with the Celtics. Excuse me. So, a couple turning points. Porzingis and Holiday gone.
I'm good. Not that I didn't like them as players, but even Holiday was hurt a lot this year, and for the money they're paying him, I don't think it was worth keeping him. I mean, Porzingis, he just couldn't stay on the court. He just couldn't, and so it was good while they were here. Obviously, they got the championship, but you got to move on, and I think it was the right time to pull the trigger.
I think the tough part is they had to get rid of them earlier than they wanted to because Tatum went down. I think they were going to try to keep him maybe another year if Tatum was healthy, but since Tatum goes down, you're not going to win anything next year, so you might as well just salary dump now, figure it out this time next year.
You agree? What do you think, Rick?
I mean, you have to see what ends up coming out of it. I do agree the fact that Porzingis has not been able to be healthy, and they felt, how do you keep paying that? I think right now what they did is the team's constituted. Now they stink. So if they don't have any bigs,
You think so?
yeah, who's in your team?
Everybody on Sports Talk Radio is like, they'll walk into the playoffs. It'll be fine.
Well, they'll probably make the playoffs in the NBA. The Red Sox are only a game out, for Christ's sakes. You can't be the worst team in the history of sports. I mean, that's how bad pro sports are. That's unbelievable. I mean, but as far as them even being, they don't have Kate is their center.
Yeah, they haven't signed. I guess they're trying to sign Cornette and Al again.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least I would like Cornette. I'd be fine with that. I thought he had a hell of a year last year.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this team, I mean, my point is I can see it both ways, but I think it was money.
Yeah, I definitely think it was money driven.
Yeah. I mean, the new owner is not going to come in.
They're not saying it. And they didn't need to worry about the money. There was no reason for it. If Tatum's back, which he's saying he's ahead of schedule, if he's back at the halfway point next year, they can go win it again. I wouldn't even care. Let them do it to Marchand. Don't even play, basically. What did Marchand sit out for like a month before the playoffs started when he got traded?
Yeah.
Went pretty well. Did we do a pod with that already? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think that the kid they got for Drew is very interesting player.
And Fernie?
He's a freak. He's a physical freak. They average 20 points a game. He's only, I think, 22?
I don't know how old he is.
Anthony Simons? He won the slam dunk. They say he doesn't play defense, but I don't believe what people say. It could just be the system. I got to see him in person. But I like that deal. I'm all with. I mean, Holiday was all done as
He's
far as
20,
I'm concerned.
26.
Well,
If he
I like
couldn't
that.
stop Brunson, Holiday has no reason to be here.
Right.
None. If you're getting lit up by him like a freaking Christmas tree, you're all done. We don't need him. I'd rather see a young kid with some flash and who's got how old is he, Dougie? 22?
26.
Oh, he's 26. Maybe he came in out at 22. Because how many years has he been in the league now?
Uh,
4?
Drafted in 2018.
Yeah, so that's why. That's what I meant. I think he was. Yeah, he was drafted at what, like 19, 20, something like that.
Yeah, he's
Whatever.
going
Doesn't
in
matter.
or
I
completing his
haven't seen
sixth
enough of
season.
him, but he's been definitely a productive offensive player in the NBA. And you got an element there they definitely do not have in the backcourt. But I mean, God, that's about Porzingis. They just gave him away.
Yeah. I don't even know this guy. What's his name?
So if you just gave somebody away, then that's 100% just a salary dump. Which if they don't spend it, then shame on them, just like the Red Sox.
Well, I mean, they were in the second level of the taxes.
The apron, yeah.
Two
Well,
hundred
that thing's a joke.
something $200 million. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at if you're a brand new owner trying to come in and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, so I'll be interested.
If you go through the real numbers on it, it doesn't even affect anything. It would have ended up costing them $12 million. Question would have been, would Pag have done it? Yep.
So I'll be interested to see like what they do with Simmons because he's in his last year of a 4-year, $100 million contract. Then he's an unrestricted free agent. If he does well, probably going to get more money.
Well, I've heard his name in trades again, where they're going to trade him, which I hope they don't do because every highlight I saw, the guy knows how to go to the hoop. He goes to the hoop with both hands. He finishes, which they don't have a guy that does that. Nobody does that. Not even Tatum. Like
He's not even that big. He's only 6'3", 200 pounds.
he goes to the hole, and he's good. Decent range, but yeah, I mean, he looks like he's the kind of guy that you want to come when things aren't going well and get you a bucket, and just get things back on track.
Yeah, but are you going to
I-
pay him? He's making $27.5 million this year.
Yeah, Porzingis
You
is
gonna-
making over 30. So
You're going to pay him 30?
yeah, why not? Derek White makes 33, I think. It's crazy. Hoops different. Those salaries are out of control.
Yeah, like the eighth guy on the bench is making like $12 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, you listen to the radio and they talk about Jaylen Brown like he's Larry Bird. It's like they don't want to. People are like, oh, you don't want to trade him. He's this. He's that. I'm like, even the guys I was golfing with today were talking about that. Oh no, you don't want to trade Jaylen Brown. I'm like, why the hell not? I don't think he's that good. I just what I mean? I like the guy. I think he's some nights he's good. Other nights he's invisible. I mean, you saw it in the playoffs. As soon as Tatum went down, he played great that first game. Distributed, looked great. The next game, he looked terrible. And if you're a guy that wants to be an alpha, is getting paid, he's going to be, he's in the 50s now. I think he's going to 60-something million dollars a year by the time he's done with his contract. Like, you can't disappear. If you're the guy, you're the guy. You know what I mean? And he's just not. He's not worth the money they're paying him.
Well, see, I don't think that argument is fair either because he's been told time and time again to Tatum, like, you aren't the guy, Tatum's the guy, but you still want him to be the guy, like, whenever it, like, pleases you. So I don't think you can have it both ways.
I've never said to him, you're not the guy.
Well, in general, people are, Tatum, all Tatum, Brown, be a team guy, know your role, blah, blah, all this other bullshit. Now Tatum's down. Now it's like, you want to be the guy, be the guy.
Well, hopefully he wants that. That's like when Jordan, left basketball, and Pippen had to be that guy. But
Pippen was better at it than Brown. Pippen was
Yeah,
a way
just
better
because
player.
Pippen can dribble.
Right.
I
Exactly.
mean, Brown can't dribble. You can't run the show if you can't dribble. I mean, I'm with you, Coach. If you got, like I said, if they ever were able to get Cooper Flag for him, I would have done that trade in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Easy.
But, I think that I'm not giving up Brown to give him up. It really depends on what that package would look
Yeah,
like.
exactly. I mean, you got to
And
get
if
something
you
for
got
him.
some type of ridiculous haul for him, I would do it in a heartbeat.
They
But
were
see,
talking about
I
the
don't,
two
I don't
pick
think
last
I don't
night.
think that works though. Like I want it to be like basically like player for player, like of that caliber. I don't want, hey, we'll take Jaylen Brown and you give us fucking 5 players and a pick. I don't think it can be like that.
No, would you give him and White up for Giannis? I would.
And White?
Yep,
No,
I would.
no.
White disappeared.
But you're not going to get 5 guys anyway. I mean, it's not going to work. It won't work numbers wise. What you're going to have to do is do a deal and see what guy you want, especially if you're looking to get a big that maybe is questionable on his contract or where he's at. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't have in front of me. I'm not a GM. I don't have in front of me every single potentially going to be free agent guys who are maybe people on the block. But like I said, if you got a certain player for him, I put it this way. All I can say is this: Jaylen Brown as a player is 100%, not even a question, untouchable. Not even a question. He's frankly just not good enough to be an untouchable. There were certain untouchables out there. He's not it.
They're treating him like it though, which is what I don't like.
Let them do what they want to do. I don't care. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting.
I got a trade for you. People would lose their shit. Jaylen Brown straight up for Joel Embiid.
No way. I wouldn't do that. I don't want Joel Embiid for a bag of balls. I'd go after Embiid. I'd give up White or something.
Talk about a guy who's never on the court.
He
I
stinks.
know. You never know. Like you get him, new surroundings.
Which is like no fault of his own. I think he's just too big of a human. He's got the same. Like, didn't they have to teach fucking Zion like how to walk because his body was like deformed? He was so fucking big.
Yeah. Talk
Yeah.
about would you trade him? Yeah. I mean, talk about waste. That guy's a waste.
How about White and Brown to LA for Doncic?
Yes,
You send Jalen goes back to California.
That's a good deal.
I would do it. I would absolutely do it for Doncic.
I like that deal.
That'd be an interesting deal, I think, on both sides, right?
But I think we were talking about doing that deal when the actual trade happened and he was sent to LA. I think we were like, I think I can go back and look, but I think we had the same conversation. What would you have given up for Luka?
I think Brown fits better with the team they're building out there. Almost. I mean, I love Luca, but Luca's a different guy. He doesn't run really. White could run the show for them out there. If LeBron want to make a push, I think that team with some of the other pieces they have out there could be much more dynamic than where they are now, which I think is slow and they don't play defense. Brown will play defense. White will play defense.
Yeah.
That's an interesting.
Yeah, but Luka
the
won't.
contracts will probably work.
Luka won't. Drew's gone. You're gonna have to really beef up your defense on the Boston side.
Yes, you would not. Run and gun, Dougie. Run
That's
and gun.
it. That's it. We need to score 160 points a game if we're gonna win.
Luca's like, okay.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Another team.
How did you like though the Celtics first round draft pick?
I'm hearing like conflict, like they went off the radar, and then I'm hearing other reports saying that like it was an absolute steal at that pick. I don't really know.
The kid was supposed to go to school. He didn't. He decided to go pro in Spain, and they say that contributed to him going off the radar. But I don't know. The most interesting part of the whole thing to me is they're bringing him over to play. Like normally they don't do that. Normally they let him continue on the team he's on. Like they have draft picks that never came here.
Well, he's probably going to be starting. He's going to be starting probably.
No, he's only 19 years old. I mean, they got
No, he'll be done. Not even close.
No?
But he's a good-sized kid. 6'6", 223. Hugo Gonzalez out of Spain. Good
Real
body.
Madrid.
His high tape wasn't bad. I'll tell you, though, the biggest buzzkill is the NBA draft now, though.
It's a
Like,
joke.
it used to be awesome.
It
was like the NFL. You couldn't miss it. Now it's like kids. Some kid from China came in and no one even knew his name. He's like the 10th pick or something. He's like 7'1". Just learned how to dribble yesterday. It's insanity.
I mean, what they should do somehow, especially with NIL now, because the kids don't have to leave early because they're getting paid, but make them stay in school a couple of years. You know what I mean? That's why it was so good before, because everybody stayed in school. You know what I mean? So you knew who was coming. You had a following. Every team, college basketball in the 80s and 90s, like the early 90s, was just nothing better. I mean, nothing better. Teams had followings. You know, kids played for a few years. Then when the draft came, I mean, it was almost as big as the NFL. You know, it was
bigger. You kidding me?
Must see TV. I mean, I had no interest last night in spending 1 second watching that mess because I've never heard of anybody, beyond Cooper Flag. None of them. And I think he's only 18, right?
Yeah, from Maine.
I know.
That his I think it was his prep school team ended up either the prep school team Mount Verdia. I was watching it, but I think 4 of the kids in that team ended up being first rounders this year.
I think I saw that. I think I saw that team.
But no, but it's totally different. But who knows? So I don't know. See what they get. I still like the seasoned the college guy. Like what's his name? With the Celtics. I think he's going to be a really, really good player. Their first round pick last year.
Shireman.
I like him stepping up into a big role this year.
Well, I mean, they're trying to move Hauser, so if he goes, Shireman's going to fit.
Yeah, I mean, get Hauser out of town, no doubt about it. But I think he'd be an interesting player for him. There's a few guys in there that ground, but so Celtics, I'll let you know when they come on right here. But like I said, I'm not. It's going to be interesting just what the Celtics do the rest of the way, but they got to get it big. They need to get it big. And they need another wing that's legit.
Yeah, they'll get somebody. I mean, they'll be fine when the season starts. I'm looking forward to watching them. I'm not looking forward to the season start because it's freaking November. But
Missoula's got to go.
Well, I was just gonna say, I was like, all right, now it's gonna be how good is Missoula?
yeah, they were talking about him today on the radio, saying he's just a numbers guy and he's got no feel, and it got exposed in the playoffs where all they did was jack up threes and they had no answer for anything.
100%.
And that's coaching. I don't think he's very good. The guy they had was Udoka. They blew it when they had to get rid of him. I mean, if he was their coach, they'd have had 2 really good years.
Well, I mean, he kind of did it to himself, didn't he?
Yeah, but was it a fireable offense?
I don't know.
No,
I still don't know what he did. I mean, I know what he did.
but anyway, yeah. But like I said, he mismanaged the best roster in the NBA. It's obvious.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, Oklahoma State and Indy, nice clubs. I mean, I watched almost every game, or at least the second half of almost every game, and I liked it. I liked how they played. I thought it was good, but again, Game 7 was tarnished because Halliburton got hurt. It was like I mean, the Celtics, it was different when Tatum got hurt because they already choked that game away. They weren't coming back at that point. But Halliburton, losing him that second half was gigantic, and they've been unbelievable in the second half. But I enjoyed watching. But what I'm saying is, it's every year it's up for grabs who's going to win it. Everybody thought it wasn't anymore. Basically, Celtics are in control for 3 years, and they absolutely choked it.
Yeah.
You figured going into this year, you're at least in the NBA final, probably another one, and then you go into year 3, and then you start to blow it up. Instead, you've won one, and right now you're basically starting to blow it up. So, but at least just a wealth of mediocrity out there.
So we can segue that into another team that is also very mediocre, and your Boston Red Sox.
Ooh,
They're not even good enough to be mediocre. They're terrible.
They have no talent.
They have young talent, but they just the fundamentals are terrible. They make errors like they blow games. The pitching, they had a little stint there with the starting pitching that pretty good run for like I don't know 3 weeks, but other than that, they're not very good. I don't know. It's very disappointing. It all has to do with money. They don't spend money on the team. They don't buy the right guys. It's just it's not fun. I mean, it's terrible because a year ago or 2 years ago, you know, we were like the Patriots aren't spending any money and they suck, but they're like the team that everybody's looking forward to the most now. Everybody else, Celtics blowing it up. Red Sox can't figure it out. Bruins can't. Talk about no team. And the Patriots are the only ones that it looks like they got their shit together. Why? Because they decided to spend a couple dollars. They got a good coach in place. They got the back office or whatever is trying to figure it out, and they spend some money on some talent. Like it's not hard in pro sports. You got to spend some money on talent. They're talking about trading Jared Duran.
That was on my notes too.
Like the guy was number 4 for MVP last year, and you want to get rid of him? They're saying,
Everybody's argument is, well, like there's a log jam in the outfield. Okay, they're like, well, Abreu's a Gold Glove winner, and Ref Snyder has earned his spot. I'm like, well,
but the guy was the 4th best player in the entire league a year ago, and that's the guy you're going to get rid of? Why? Because his contract's coming up. That's why.
That's exactly what it is. But they don't have the fucking balls to say that they don't want to pay him.
Right.
If they trade Duran, I think you're going to hear a real different outcry from fucking Red Sox fans.
I mean, I would be surprised if they didn't trade him because that's their MO. They're not going to pay anybody. They're not going to pay. They're not going to pay homegrown talent. They've never paid homegrown talent. Never. I think Devers was the only one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into speculation about it. Duran is definitely tradable. Depends what you're going to get. But he's, not a very bright player. I've always liked him a lot. But
it's out of the outfield.
He's hitting a whopping 254.
No, I know. He's not having a good year, but I'm just saying.
No, he's the leading hitter on the Boston Red Sox, right?
He is?
He has the most. I think he leads the entire major leagues in at bats as well.
It's like, I mean, I'm just trying to look it up. I don't have it's on my laptop. But
so Rick, let me ask you this: as a former baseball coach, and whatnot,
Whoa! Hall of Fame.
Apologies. But the one thing I don't agree with Cora is that it seems like every game he's tinkering, not necessarily with the batting lineup, but positions the guys are playing too. It's like, why are we constantly switching guys from like one corner of the outfield to the other? Why are we doing this?
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I've never. I would say this is one of the worst managing jobs I have ever watched overall. On every level, just what you're saying. Consistency, ideas, who's going in, accountability at the plate. Hamilton the other night drag bunting and it's obvious sacks that they do nothing well. The only thing they do well is Chapman and Crochet. And they might get a decent start out of a Bello. And with Devers gone, they're an absolute. They just got swept by the Angels. The Angels, they had like 3 hits in the whole series. They strike out 10 times a game. You have to be blind to strike out 10 times a game. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just a terrible organizational approach. They're destroying the kids, like I said. Be interesting if Campbell ever makes it back. after what they did to them, and Breslow with his big press conference about, ooh, he was a creation, blah, blah, blah. I mean, embarrassing how bad Breslow is an absolute embarrassment to himself. And you have a situation now. What's his name is drawing a blank. Maya. Maya's a player because Maya can play defense. He's still hitting like 210 or something, 220 maybe, and but at least he can play defense.
They had him at second the other night.
Yeah, the other kid,
Meyer is hitting 208, and Roman Anthony is batting a whopping 114.
114 and can't play defense, and he's afraid to throw the baseball.
I have a better batting average in the MLB than this fucking guy.
Definitely. But I mean, that's a problem. He's been up for a while now. He's been up for a while.
15 games, 44 at-bats.
The saviors of your organization. Have they been overrated or rushed? My take, rushed. My take is systematically they're doing something 100% wrong at the major league level with either what they do day to day to work on what they're supposed to be working on. They don't have. I mean, what's the team batting average? Like 220? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, they're not good.
I mean,
247.
Yeah. So
but that includes Devers,
yeah,
in their team stats.
Yeah. So they're basically around 235 team stats.
Yeah.
You have, and you don't play the game well. You don't bunt. You don't hit and run. You don't move guys over. They
play like they're leading the league in homers, and they're not.
Exactly. Fly balls everywhere. They have no power.
They're top 10 in homers.
They are?
They have no right-handed hitters.
Oddly enough.
It's unbelievable.
So, but now you've kind of backed yourself into a corner with the kids, because what do? You send them back down. Now they're just going to be head cases. You don't think so?
No, I don't.
No, I mean, you bring them up now, they got to stay.
Yeah, I think you keep them up and you coach. I mean, we've said it 1,000 times. Every sport we talk about, you coach them. They're not coaching. There's no coaching. It's all about numbers.
Well,
it's all about launch angle. It's all about
analytics.
Did
you listen to EEI today?
No, I was busy ripping up a golf course.
What Breslow was saying?
No.
He basically admitted that it's not that their issues aren't just at the MLB level. Like, they're making the same mistakes in Worcester and everything. So this is like a systemic Red Sox issue.
Well, then change it.
Base running, just fundamentals.
Which
still boggles my mind, because these are professional athletes. Like,
he's the president of the baseball operations. Change it.
Well, and that's my thing too. So, like, as former players and everything, like, you guys are playing, like, you should know the fucking situation. You shouldn't have to rely on your coach to tell you, like, what to do in the situation. That's why, like, in practice, it's like, hey, like, this is, like, Ricky could tell you, this is Nook Road stuff.
But you still got to practice it. I mean, I get it. They're pros, but you still have to practice it. Like, we talked about it last week when they had an infield fly rule. There's not one guy in that field that knew the rule. Not one guy. They're trying to do force outs when the guy took off. Infield fly. Did you see that play, Rick?
Oh yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, I mean,
mind numbing. They got
not one dude know the rule. We watched it live. I think not one guy knew the rule.
Yep.
That's horrific. Horrific. That they obviously do not practice the shit. Why can't you practice?
Well, infield fly is nothing to practice. That's just, if you don't,
you gotta know the rule.
It shows they're absolutely stupid players. But the difference is it's accountability on my end, and they're not accountable for, you don't get a bunt down. They're not accountable for stupid defensive play. You're not accountable for bad base running. You're not accountable for approach. Nothing is accountable. Just do what you want, and we'll put you back in the lineup. Or we'll do what you, Doug, said. We're going to mix it in, and we're going to, as I was, when I first started my coaching career, I was actually in hockey. Legendary guy, I might have told you guys this story. Johnny Powers. B played at BC. Great guy. He asked me to be his assistant at BB&N. He had just taken over. I just got out of college. I was young, fired up, wanting to mix things up all the time. We had some very good players, but had no depth, and we were in the best hockey division in New England, the Keller division at the time, and great guys working their ass off. But I'd come in after the game or after a period of it. We should put so and so and so and so and so and so. But we lost all the time. And they kept trying to keep it up. They're great kids. You want to support them. But he finally looked at me and goes, Ricky, I love your enthusiasm. But you're rearranging the chairs on the Titanic.
That's it. It's going down.
So the bottom line is, Cora, stop rearranging the chairs, buddy. Stop. Just figure it out. And the way I only look at that, if I was figuring it out, is I'd be like, okay, Bregman's your third baseman. He's coming back. We're going to have Campbell's going down. If you're gonna keep the kids, Campbell go down. You're gonna learn first base for a couple weeks. We're changing everything when Bregman's back. You're coming back then as a first baseman. You're playing first. Meyer's playing second. Story at short. You're gonna figure out what to do in the outfield as far as you gotta keep Rafaela, who's actually played very well.
Yeah.
Shockingly, I think he's hitting like 240 something, 49. He's like their best offensive player, which is
249. Yep.
And if you platooning in right with Abreu, Anthony's playing left, and that's it. We're setting a lineup, and this is what we're going with.
So you're getting rid of Duran then?
No, I said Duran's in center.
He said Rafaela and center.
Rafaela. I'm sorry, Duran's in center. Right. You'd have whoever you decide to DH.
Okay.
So
is Amata coming back eventually? He could DH.
I mean, I can't see putting Anthony as the DH just because, though he probably is a good DH, it's just he's too young to do that. But I could see Abreu as a DH with Abreu and whoever else. Maybe who crushes? He does a great job against lefties. Is Reitschneider?
Yeah.
And maybe they just put they lefty righty situation in the DH slot. Keep Duran, Rafaela, and what's his name? Anthony and right. And you just go with it, and that's what you got. And see what you're gonna look like. And hopefully they all show you something. If they all stink, come the end of the summer, you're an organizational disaster.
You're the laughing stock of the fucking MLB.
Well, they got
a
month to figure it out, but at the end of this month, and I wouldn't be surprised if the front office wasn't rooting for it, is if they suck and they become sellers, they could get a haul for friggin' Chapman, I think, to a contender.
Way's throwing this year. Someone's who needs a closer. They're gonna be all over it.
Yeah.
But the joke is they didn't even get a haul for Devers.
That was a dump. Just to get him out of the
organization.
organization.
Top 10 hitters in all of baseball. You gave him away for a bag of balls.
It's embarrassing. It's absolute. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm
fireable. Everything's fireable on this.
I'm disgusted with all of Boston sports. Never mind the Red Sox. All of it. I mean, the Patriots are the only ones that have given me hope, and that was after years and years and years of being disgusted with them. And they finally, maybe Crafty, maybe it's a death wish or something. He's just emptying his pocketbook just to make him relevant again so he can die in peace. But I just don't. I'm just disgusted with Boston sports. It's a joke. It's discouraging is what it is. It's like I have no interest in any of the sports, any of them, to spend a dime to go watch them play. Patty's like, oh, the Red Sox stink. Maybe we can, maybe go in and watch a game, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, maybe. But, like, she's like, you never want to do anything. I'm like, no, I don't want to pay an organization money that is deliberately holding back so they can make money. Like, it's feeding the animal. I don't want to feed the animal. I want to rebel. I do.
How long? I've been saying that since the beginning of the podcast.
I don't want to be an idiot, Dougie.
Don't be an idiot. But I would say that's the crazy twist of this whole thing. You touched on it, Coach, and I think Doug as well. Right now, the only I feel the organization that's in the best shape moving forward is the Patriots.
It's only after he opened his pocketbook, though. He had to open his pocketbook.
As it sits right now, the Patriots are the closest Boston team to winning a championship, and they are not close.
Yeah, I know. It's and the thing is, like, well, football. I mean, to get back to relevance is not hard. It's not hard. So I mean, we'll see what happens there. I don't know.
Well, at least the other part is it's a huge. You got the NHL draft tomorrow night. You've got
They have what, 7th overall?
Yeah, there's this guy. So I don't know a lot about these guys. They got some guy named Caleb Desnoyers from the QMGL, the Q. I guess he's a two-way center. Pretty good player. Then I heard this other guy, Jake O'Brien, who's in the OHL, who's a big dude. He's like 200 pounds. He's a forward, definitely a top 6 guy. But I don't know. Who knows? I mean, they re-signed Lowry, which I think is a good signing, but like, is a guy that needs coaching.
2 years? Is that what I said?
Yeah, but he needs coaching. You know what I mean?
But before we get too much into this, the only thing since the Red Sox are going to be sellers and everything, I want them to pick up the phone.
Who?
The Red Sox.
Okay.
I want them to pick up the phone and see what it'll cost to go get fucking, and call Pittsburgh and see what it'll cost to get fucking Paul Skeens. I would give up fucking Meyer, I would give up fucking Anthony, and I would give him fucking Jaron Duran.
Well,
Now you Paul
Skeens.
Skeens. Now you have a massive 1-2 punch in your rotation.
You can't give up Meyer. You can't, because Story's not good.
Right.
And Maya's that guy. I mean, he's going to be that guy sooner than later. I also don't know why the Red Sox will be sellers, though I know because the ownership's cheap and it's a joke. They're still in the hunt.
Yeah, I mean, playoff baseball.
Go find yourself another pitcher.
Yeah.
Go find yourself another bat, and go play baseball. I hope the kids are there. What are you going to sell? You're not getting anything for Durant. I don't know what people are crazy about this. You're not getting anything significant. Who wants? He's an older, all about his legs, which will break down. Average outfielder, no arm, and I've liked him, but who's like going? I gotta get Jaron Duran. Oh my god. You couldn't get anything for Devers, like I said. You get him. The only guy right now you could get a boatload for under his contract is Crochet.
Yeah.
That's it. They got nobody else anybody wants. Nobody. Maybe you could get rid of Bregman after the All-Star break comes back. If someone's looking for a veteran presence, right side batter at third. I'd be like, 1-year contract. I'd be like, see you later. Thanks for the memories.
I would
They're
give
talking
him.
about extending him.
I would. Well, I mean, I think I said this last podcast, the podcast before. Like, if you don't, then getting rid of Devers is even more of a bonehead fucking move.
Oh, 1,000% done. Couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it's just you couldn't have screwed up a team anymore. Couldn't have done it.
He flew to freaking Kansas City, and Devers pretty much shit on him. Said fuck you. That's it. That's why. That's the only reason they got rid of him.
No, because they don't know, they're incompetent. They don't communicate. They don't know what they're doing. When they signed Bregman, I told you this in the beginning. It's no brainer. Great. He goes to second base, so I never have to watch Hamilton and those stiffs play baseball again. They shouldn't even be in AAA. guys they have playing second base. It was a no-brainer. You had Casas sitting there. Worst case, you could have had even the what's his name's come up and played okay there. You got a good steal out of the catcher. The catch is excellent. Love him.
Navarez.
But, somebody might want Wong, but your infield, you had Bregman, freaking Story, and Devers was your infield. I mean, what are we discussing here? Pickens pretty much one of the top arm catchers in the league right now. He's hitting like number 2. That's how bad the lineup is. He hits and you had some young talent potentially coming up. And the guy who had some value, in my opinion, was Abreu. But you know why they didn't dump him?
Not get paid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was the biggest, worst thing they did to force Devers to go to DH that point when it didn't help the team in any way. All you did was put an absolute stiff, young, horrible defensive prospect at second base, way over his head. Couldn't turn a double play. He's got horrible, horrible feet. And your pro evaluators, you could see that day one from the stands. Yeah, I was impressed with how he put the bat on the ball. But defensively, on the right, on that side of the infield, he was absolutely horrible. You can't be worse as a pro. You can't.
Did you hear the audio from the scout?
No.
Calling Bregman a fucking calling Breslow. They had since Zoom meeting or whatnot, and the guy didn't click out of it, and he just looks over to his coworker. He goes, "This guy's a fucking stiff." And he fucking Breslow fired him for it. But I think your other biggest anchor is fucking Bueller, making $21 million a year, and this guy's an absolute mental midget.
And I can't blame the organization for that move, though. I mean, not one person was upset with it. It's just disappointing.
He was awesome with the Dodgers. Well, but that goes back to, I think, pitching philosophy. They got these guys, that they put out there that show promise, and all they do is the soft curve. You know what I mean? And then they got to come back with a fastball. It's their pitching philosophy. That's what it is.
And then
I do think pitching wise, they have adjusted it quite a bit, Coach. To be honest, I'm still watching it, believe it or not. But they are leading off with more fastballs and throwing more fastballs. I think Bailey's made a better adjustment with the pitching staff, which really has not been the problem. The coaching staff that needs to go is anybody involved there that talks to any player about hitting. They all have to go.
Yeah, I agree with that. What were you saying, Dougie?
I'm trying to think. Who is it? Cutter Crawford? He's out for the season?
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Oh,
yeah.
Out for the season?
Yeah.
Unrelated baseball injury.
Yeah.
Unrelated.
Unrelated. And then they had this whole 15-minute segment on EEI about other pro athletes who have have been out for an extended period of time due to unrelated. Aroldis Chapman was out for 4 months because he got an infection in his leg from a tattoo.
Oh my God.
Sale, and what? He had the bike accident.
Oh yeah, sure he did.
Yeah, now he's lighting it up. Might win the fucking Cy Young again.
What? He's having a good year again?
Yeah.
All right. I don't get mad at him. I don't get mad if the Red Sox blew it with that guy because he sucked when he was here. Shame on him. That's all I got to say about that. Shame on him.
I don't think we've talked about before and on and on and on. It's an organizational disaster there. When has the last stud young pitching prospect been developed by the organization? None. How many free agents have come in and been destroyed?
Bale's
yeah, but he's not a stud.
Oh, I know. I'm kidding. Joking.
How many have been?
He's another head case too.
How many Sale have been a bust with whatever they're doing philosophically or hitters?
Right.
I'm and the only guys they developed who are all potential Hall of Famers, they traded or sign somewhere else. I mean, it's That's what people aren't talking about. The bottom line is they can't develop talent to become major league talent. Now you're seeing it again, which were considered by all of Baseball America, Baseball Reference, the best three of the best prospects in all of the sport have come up, and except for Maya can play defense, have been an absolute disaster.
Right.
At least one should be good.
By accident.
I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. They're an organizational disaster. They will never win. I won't see a World Series as long as Henry's here, and especially if Breslow's around. You will never ever see close to a World Series again.
It's the
I have faith in the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics will be fine because he's a good.
Well, Brad
GM.
Stevens he's a good GM.
He's a good GM. They got enough pieces there to compete, and maybe they can pull the trigger on something that puts them over the top. You know,
And I don't think they're going to screw around with Missoula too much. I don't think they'll screw around. They won't let him falter too long. They'll get rid of him. You know, if they
Yeah, I would think so. And then the Bruins is a
train wreck.
I have
Absolute train wreck.
no faith in
nope.
what the hell John Sweeney's done because he's done nothing but
Nothing.
bad.
It's all
Nothing.
about September now when the Patriots play.
I mean, look at. So let's segue to the Bruins a little bit. Look at that roster they have right now. It's absolutely embarrassing.
Be a Pasternak. That's it.
That's it. You got one guy.
And
Have you
Swayman,
guys
who's
seen-
the big question mark.
They haven't talked about this yet. Maybe they have, but I missed it.
Their
But,
defensive core is good.
when they're healthy. But they haven't talked about this at all. But have you guys seen the new commercial for the new shirt this year?
The one that fucking Sweeney was just bragging about.
You haven't seen it though, have you?
I have not actually seen it. No.
It is unbelievably embarrassing. It's
embarrassing.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna have to look it
Michael
up.
J. Fox. Michael J. Fox, who, God bless Michael J. Fox, but I mean he's afflicted with severe
Parkinson's?
Yes, severe. So they got Neely calling him up. Well, actually, he calls Neely, and he talks about like, remember when you were playing, blah blah blah, the uniform you had, but this stuff. And Sweeney's talking to him like, first of all, it comes up on his phone and says Mike, and it's like, then they do this Back to Future thing with Charlie McAvoy comes in as an old man and hands Michael J. Fox a jersey, and then talks about like, where I'm going, I don't need skates. It's like, what? It is the most embarrassing. They couldn't come up with a worse commercial if they tried. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. It's like, oh boy, here we go. You know what I mean? Like, these are the idiots running the asylum. Oh my God, we're done. And now they gotta do a draft. How many picks they got this year? Don't they get a lot
It's
of
all going to be for them. This is all
they have picks?
free agency for them. This is it. It's now or never. Let's see
You
who
got,
they
you
go
got money,
after.
right? They have money.
And I think it's going to be interesting. See if they can make a big deal for Swayman.
They won't even give Marchand an offer, which I'm okay with, honestly. But they won't even give him an offer. Supposedly he's waiting for them. He's got an offer on the table from Florida. He's got an offer from somebody else. But he said he's waiting for Boston. I don't think they're going to give him an offer.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably be hometown discount. It depends how many years.
Right.
What he's looking for. I don't know enough about it, but they're gonna have.
Yeah, him. Why would you? I wouldn't. I mean, he played with hockey players this year. You saw what he can do. Why would you want to go back to that misery?
Yeah, like I said before, I wouldn't. But Pence, he's got a young family.
Yeah. I mean, they might have roots here, and they want to stay, whatever.
All his boy Bergeron, those guys. He's like his best friend. They live all in the city.
Yeah.
It would just be as you want to play. Say he thinks he can play 2 more years. Can I get a team friendly deal and do it? I just think it'll be a tough dynamic overall. He was the captain.
Right.
You traded the captain.
Did they ever name another captain? I don't think they did.
And they don't have I don't. I'd bring him back if it was the right price, But it depends on what else you're planning on doing. I just don't have faith in what they do in that free with the free agency and everything. That
The only thing I'm looking forward to is I think Lindholm, the center. I think he was hurt all year, and I think he's way better than he showed, and it came out in that the World Cup. He was the second leading scorer in that whole tournament. No, I think he's the leading scorer in that whole tournament. So I think he's got more in the tank. I just think he was hurt all year. So I'm looking forward to him kind of being himself. I'm looking forward to the other Lindholm coming back and being healthy. I mean, if that ever happened with McAvoy, I mean, you're right. The defense is pretty good, but they need top six talent. They don't have it. They don't have it. The draft's coming up. I mean, I don't know. This kid Hagen's out of BC. He might fall to them. He's a pretty offensively talented kid. But I don't know. I'm not. I don't have.
no, they need a
You're right
splash.
though.
The good thing is you could focus on offense and free agency, and you're
Yes.
going to spend your money on two stud top six forwards.
I hope
Period.
so. I hope so.
Ideally, one of them's a center. Move Lindholm to your number two center, and go from there. Or you hope you can get, a great, you can get something really significant for Swayman.
I agree with you. You don't even hear about that. You know, but that's the move. That is definitely the move. Is look to unload Swayman.
Long way to go with the Bruins. So, all
But-
right. So, what do we got? We had anything else interesting? We got.
Well, the thing is, like free agents, right? For NHL, Mitch Marner is the number one free agent. They ever going to drop the money for that guy? I don't know.
I would.
Sam Bennett's number two. I'd try to sign that guy.
Guy just scored 15 goals in the playoffs alone,
Yeah.
and was your Conn Smythe Trophy.
Tavares is a free agent. He's old though.
It's all right. Let's keep her moving.
All right.
Entertainment. I do not have any entertainment.
Well, I
You
played
guys
I played some golf today. I played. It was a fundraiser for the Medway High School, where my alma mater, which didn't even have a friggin' hockey team when I played there, but it was the year after I graduated. They got a hockey team. Anyway, quick side story. I played hockey my whole life growing up. Until I got to high school, we didn't have hockey. So my junior year, I tried out for the basketball team. Never played organized hoop in my life, and I made it. I made the team. I'll never forget my father went down and shook the coach's hand and said, "Thanks for taking him." By my senior year, I was averaging like 10 points a game. So, I mean, it's, what is what it is.
That's
But
why
anyway,
they call him big. That's why they call him big, Dougie.
That's it.
that's not why they call me big. But anyway, yeah. So I played in a tournament today with my buddy Larry, Dave, two guys I grew up with, and then JT the Mutt filled in. It was a good day. I think we had like 5 under, which is okay. We didn't even sniff a bogey. I mean, we played pretty good. We just didn't hit any putts. But it was fun. Kind of rained on us early, but it stopped, and it was a good day. It was a good day. I enjoyed it. Other than that, last weekend JT's parents were in town. We were looking at venues for the rehearsal dinner. That was interesting. I don't think we've made any decisions yet, so stay tuned for that one. I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm really not involved. It's not my responsibility.
Cup of tea.
No, it's just not my. I'm an attendee there. I'm not a payee there. So if I was paying for it, I'd be a little bit more vocal. But whatever. Everything looks great to me. We're fine.
Last weekend was Stevie Rich concert was at Pillory Pub on Saturday night. He's always entertaining, obviously. Moriarty on the drums. You guys might have seen my post.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't nearly, it was a good crowd, but it wasn't the same crowd as last time he played there, which I projected because the weather was so nice on a Saturday that guys like in our age group, especially Dougie, like they go to the beach and stuff. It wasn't until 8:30. While they were, grilling, pools. You're not rallying up to get out of town at 8:30 for a concert. So it was very few HOH guys there, which was disappointing. Uh, at all. There was only a couple of them, and then, but outside that, they did a good job. They do their thing.
Is he doing the fourth at the Sands, or who's doing the fourth at the Sands?
I think Stevie is he doing the fourth or the stands or the third?
Well, I know Moriarty's going to be there. I don't know which band it is though.
I think it's Stevie Rich.
So I'm planning on that one. I'm going to be there for that. It's like 7:00, I think.
Yeah, no chance for me.
No chance?
No, I'll be at the beach club and then I'm back here getting ready get the grill going, getting ready for the fireworks.
Oh, all right. It's a walking distance one for me, so that's why I'm in. And it's on a Friday, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right, top 5.
Top 5? Did we a new thing?
Top 3. Apologies. This week, this episode, this edition, we are going to do top 5 lefty athletes of all time.
It's top 3, Dougie.
Top 3
Episode 86, brother.
lefty athletes of all time, any sport.
All right. Shit. Top
Any sport.
Any sport. Well, so because it's any sport, and because it's all time, you got to go with an all time great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has to be an all time great. And I would say arguably one of the best left handed sports personalities that's ever graced any field has got to be Phil Mickelson. It's got to be.
Wow, you're going Phil right off the rip. Okay.
You gotta, because the guy is a legend. He's in the Hall of Fame already. And he's still playing. He's in his mid-50s. He's still ripping it up. He's had arguably, Tigers was the best ever, but as far as longevity goes, Phil blows him away. So, there you go. That's my number 1 out of the rip.
Sure.
No, that's the best lefty athlete of all time, a golfer.
I was thrown just like you.
Hey, listen, it's my top 3.
I'm just saying that's the fun of doing the top 3. It's critiquing and analyzing. That's the fun of it. Am I up now?
What?
Yes, you're up.
I'm gonna try and keep to the football theme, and I'm gonna go with Steve Young.
Ooh.
Whoa. You're giving me shit about Phil Mickelson? You come out best left-handed player ever in history, Steve Young? You're comparing Steve Young to Phil Mickelson? The 2 careers?
Win a Super Bowl or win a sport that only white guys play? Come on.
What are you talking about?
Come on. It's a joke.
Oh, my God.
Why do you think Tiger won so much? He was the only black guy on tour. Except for who was the other one? Vijay Singh? He wasn't even really African-American.
VJ, and then there's
Calvin P was good. There's a lot of black guys out there. So
yeah.
HV3.
Yeah, the new guy came out, right? The guy won the other night. Was he?
Who?
Steve Young's a Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame quarterback.
Hop ever? I'm just saying. You give me shit about Phil Mickelson, who's an icon in this country, and you come out with Steve Young. Come on.
Steve Young's a better athlete than Phil freaking Mickelson.
We're talking about.
It's not even in the same. Not even the same ballpark.
Success in the sport.
If Steve Young grew up on a golf, you think if Steve Young grew up playing golf, he wouldn't destroy Phil Mickelson every week?
I don't think Steve was, coming out of the projects.
Well, he went to. What do you mean? Who knows? It doesn't matter. It depends how you grew up, what sport you're playing. Let's be honest. Are you kidding me?
Come on. Go ahead, Dougie. What do you got?
You know what's funny is I think if Phil was a righty, I don't even think he'd be a top 20 golfer.
Are you insane?
No.
Oh, my God. Good.
Plus, I said I'm keeping on the original theme that I was going to try and do lefty quarterbacks.
Okay. That's fine.
Because the top greatest lefty of all time hitter is not even discussable.
Right. He was lefty.
I'm going. I'm going to the ice. I'm going Gretzky, the great one.
Yeah.
What? What? You got something to say about Gretzky now, Coach?
No.
If Phil Mickelson played hockey, he'd be
He's the
better than
greatest,
Wayne
but it's
fucking
not
Gretzky.
unique. It's just, I would say, no, I love, obviously, the great call, but it's not very unique to be a lefty
Right. Right. It's not unusual.
hockey player.
A lot of hockey players are lefty.
A little bit unique would be if you used, you know,
It's a lefty goalie.
Grant Fuel,
Right. A left-handed
on that
goalie. Right. Right. Right.
lefty goaltender. But
Okay.
Yeah. Well, all right. So maybe I should have started off with this guy, but he was a great lefty. Greatest probably ever. Babe Ruth. How's that?
yeah, he's good. No
Yeah.
doubt about it. I've watched a lot. I know you watched him play a lot, but I haven't seen as live action as you.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just playing with it. I mean, the babe's the babe, of course. I mean, lefty hitters is ridiculous when
He was a lefty pitcher too. He was a dual threat. He was a Shohei. He's the original Shohei.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I'm trying to keep on the quarterback. Michael Vick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was a lefty.
He sure was.
But it's too bad what happened in his career, seriously, how good he was. That whole thing. But boy, was he talented.
Although I'll say this about him, okay?
Self-inflicted. It wasn't, it wasn't injury ridden. I'll tell you
That was
that.
a stump, but
Self-inflicted.
he was unbelievable.
Talk about.
Oh, but you know what? You know what's funny about him, Rick and Dougie? He was a little before his time. If he was a quarterback now in his prime,
Oh my God.
you know what I mean? The way the league is?
Forget it.
Yeah. He was a little before his time. But yeah, he was phenomenal. I liked watching him. Although, yeah, it's disappointing. It's like, what? What are you doing with the dogs? Like, what are we doing? Like, you got nothing else to do? Jesus Christ. Go ahead, Doug.
Celtics are sticking with the European theme. They took France's forward Noah Penda.
Yeah, I'm watching it right on the TV here, Doug. He looks pretty big. Looks pretty big and fluid.
Wait, what is this?
Versatile defender.
Well, there you go. He's a big?
Forward, France. French draft picks. 4 French draft picks have gone so far.
So I just got a notification that says the Boston Celtics are trading the number 32 pick to the Magic for number 46 and 57 and a 2026 second rounder. But they made a pick, so I don't understand that.
They'll just trade it after. They can still pick
maybe
it.
that guy goes there.
Yeah, so they'll pick again at 46, apparently.
Huh. Yeah, Stevens loves those second rounders. It's awesome.
So lefties, so since left-handed hockey wasn't that difficult to do, lefty football, let's do Boomer. Was it Boomer a lefty?
He was.
Boomer Esiason?
Good call, Tuggy. That was mine right there. Great lefty. Nice job, buddy. I like it.
All right.
Well, all I know is if you pull up greatest left-handed athletes of all time, there's a picture. And in the picture, there's a picture of the first guy on the left, Phil Mickelson, standing next to Babe Ruth. And I didn't even pull this site up until right now. Next to him is Randy Johnson. And then next to him is Lionel Messi. But anyway, my last guy is a left-handed person.
That's probably by sport, by the way, not by all time.
No, stop.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It is. Just saying.
yeah, whatever. Okay, so my last pick is a left-handed person, but you wouldn't know it, by the sport he was most famous in. However, He played baseball lefty. But he was one of the greatest athletes I think I've ever seen in my life. Is Deion Sanders. How's that? I know Ricky's going to like that one.
Yeah, he's arguably the best two-sport athletes ever. I mean, till Bo got hurt. I mean, Bo
By the
was.
way, Steve Young's number 13 on this list. But yeah, um, but yeah, I mean, Dion was. I've never seen a guy look so comfortable at full speed. You know what I mean? He was comfortable at full speed. He didn't look like he was exerting himself. The number one, and you probably got it online, Dougie, but the number one left-handed athlete ever was Wayne Gretzky, according to this list. Anyway, that's my list, and I'm sticking to it.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, Prime had a great career in two sports. I mean, it's crazy. It's like I said, no one's done it. I mean, it's a shame the tragedy with Bo because
Yeah,
I mean,
he was right.
he was like an all-star. He played in I mean, people know this, but Bo played in the all-star game of the major leagues, which Deion Sanders never did.
No,
And he was in the Pro Bowl as well in the same freaking year.
he was one of the best running backs
It's unheard of. He is the most freak athlete in the history of athletics. I mean, it's just so tragic what we missed out of watching him. And his highlight stuff, I mean, moonshots. He running over Bosworth. I mean, you could go. I mean, he was so dominant.
The best highlight I've ever seen him was when he threw the guy out from third base from the wall in Seattle.
It was the plate.
Yeah, the ball never touched the ground. Huh?
Yeah, the play was at the plate.
Right, exactly. Well, the catcher made a great play, but I mean, the ball never touched the ground, and he threw it from the fence.
Yeah, flat-footed.
Yeah, and the guy around in third could not believe that ball was at home plate when he got there. That was the most. You ever see that, Dougie? The most outrageous throw I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
He said he threw it over 100 miles an hour, I think. But yeah, he was incredible. He was incredible. But the other guy that was a freak athlete that didn't really. I don't think he got the credit that he deserved. I don't know if he was lefty or not, but I'm just throwing it out there. But Herschel Walker was a hell of an athlete. He was
Very
he was
good.
pretty dominant. Huh?
Yeah, sure.
He was pretty dominant.
Sure.
But he didn't get the Bo Jackson accolades.
Very Phil Mickelson-esque.
Very what?
Phil Mickelson-esque.
Stop.
All right, let's wrap this thing up.
Well, I think the one thing too, though, you got to say is that Herschel. I mean, Herschel. The difference is his like second sport was like he did like enough to go on like the bobsled stuff, unbelievable. But he was a very very talented running back, but he in college he was good in the pros, but he very good in the pros, but not he was a legend in college.
But he returned kicks in the pros. Like he did everything.
No, it was great, but it was the greatest trade in sports history that made the Dallas Cowboys.
I know it was.
Minnesota made that trade crazy.
You guys wrap everything up here? Or no, you didn't. Go ahead, Ricky. Get your last guy in there.
I believe, and I might be wrong on this one. Warren Moon
Was not a lefty.
was not, right? So the other
No.
one I had was off the top of my head was Jim Zorn.
He was a lefty.
So there's the only other guy after Dougie stole Boomer Esiason.
You forgot the greatest one, Rick.
Go ahead, you got it.
No, I'm going to go a different route, but you forgot fucking your boy, Tim Tebow.
Oh,
That's a good one, though. He's probably the greatest lefty college quarterback.
yeah, I'll give you that one.
Yeah. But no, I'm going to go a sport we did not touch on, NBA. I'm going to go Bill Russell.
Lefty?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I like it.
I didn't know that either.
Bill Russell was, James Harden is.
Yeah, James. Don't use those two in the same sentence ever again.
I believe David Robinson was too.
Yeah, he was.
All
All right,
right.
boys. What are the numbers?
Episode 86 in the books.
Yes, it was a good one. This is fun. I enjoyed it. You know, summertime's tough because, especially if the baseball team sucks. So I mean, summertime's tough, but you know, we do it. We bring it together. Come up with some good shit. I like it. All right, boys. I drank the last of my Bud Lights.
All right, guys. Have a good touch base this weekend.
Sounds good, guys.
Sounds good.
Thanks to all of our fans.